Hi, this is David. Hey. Yes, I'm on Zoom right now. Oh, okay. You should have gotten a text message with that information, but I can give you the meeting ID number and the passcode. That's okay. Do you have something to write this down with? All right, so the meeting ID is 757 820 3869. And then the passcode to get in is 303. All right. Okay, see you in a second. Bye. Hola, it looks like you're on mute.
Hello.
There we go. Hola, ¿cómo estás?
Bien, hace frío. ¿Y tú?
Hace mucho frío, sí, sí.
Yeah.
Pero estoy bien. Bien, entonces ya hablas español.
¿Puede repetirlo?
Ya hablas algo de español.
What does algo mean?
Algo means something, some or something. So it sounds like you already speak a little Spanish.
I can pick up a few things here and there. I did take Spanish in middle school and high school, but I forgot most of it.
Okay. Is it worth doing an evaluation or should we start from the beginning?
I suppose it wouldn't hurt to do an evaluation.
Cool. Okay, well, I'm going to take you through a series of questions in Spanish. Because it's a test, you need to answer with full, complete sentences, okay?
Okay, all right.
Hola, ¿cómo estás?
Estoy bien, gracias.
¿Cómo te llamas?
Mi llamo es Arianne.
¿Cómo,
mi nombre es
¿Cómo se deletrea tu nombre?
All right, I didn't get that.
Okay. ¿De dónde eres?
Soy de las Filipinas y Florida, en Estados Unidos.
¿Te gusta Colorado?
Sí, mucho gusto, Colorado.
¿Cuál es tu color favorito?
Mi color favorito es azul.
¿Cuál es tu número de teléfono?
El número de mi teléfono es 352-328-5758.
En
Hoy. Okay. 352-328-5758.
¿Cómo se dice table en español?
La mesa.
¿Qué significa libro en inglés?
Is this what's your favorite book in English? Okay.
¿Qué significa libro en inglés?
¿Qué significa libro? Significant. No sé. Lo siento.
So I feel like you have more Spanish. You definitely have some Spanish, but I still think that we should probably start with the first lesson just to kind of iron some things out.
Okay. All right, sounds good to me.
All right, let me bring that up for you. Muy bien. So let's get started with Fundamentos de Español, Lección 1. This is the very first level of Spanish I teach. Here I'm preparing students for having basic conversations with people, whether that's at work, in a Spanish-speaking community, or for traveling around the Spanish-speaking world. This first course can take anywhere from like 1 to 3 months, depending on the exact study plan that we work out. By the end of it, you will be able to introduce yourself to somebody in Spanish, make small talk with people, and then survival skills include things like ordering food in restaurants and shopping. And I'm big on teaching the cultural differences as well. Today's lesson is all about introducing yourself to somebody. Basically, all the questions I just asked you, you're going to have a much more solid understanding. I'm going to teach you the most common greetings in Spanish, a little culture tip of how to greet people in Spanish-speaking countries. We'll talk about cognates to boost your confidence up a little bit, the 5 basic vowel sounds in Spanish for pronunciation, numbers up to 10, and then vocab that most students can use at both work and at school. Aquí tiene mi contacto. So this is my contact information. So if you can, take a screenshot or write down my email and phone number, just in case you can't make it to class sometime or running late or something like that. And then I'm on Facebook and LinkedIn. If you want to build out your social media connections, feel free to send me an invite.
Okay.
Got it? Muy bien. Bueno, a little bit about my experience and why I'm teaching Spanish. Yo soy de los Estados Unidos. I'm actually from here. I'm from the United States, pero viví en España, Argentina, Chile, y Ecuador. So I lived in 4 other Spanish-speaking countries. Viajé means I traveled to. Viajé a Cuba, a la República Dominicana, Mexico, conozco Colombia, Uruguay, Bolivia. I've been to a lot of Spanish-speaking countries. ¿Y tú? ¿De dónde eres?
So yo soy de las Filipinas.
Muy bien.
Y ¿cómo se dice I moved to?
Me mudé.
Me mudé. So yo soy de Filipinas, pero me mudé. Me mudó.
Me mudé.
Me mudé Florida cuando 15 años ago.
Okay, so 15 years ago would be hace 15 años.
Hace 15
años. Okay,
Okay.
bien. What part of Florida?
Gainesville.
Gainesville, okay.
And Miami.
In Miami. Did you go to college in Gainesville?
I did.
University of Florida, right?
Yeah.
Nice. My cousin went to school there. So, muy bien.
Oh.
Bueno, yo soy maestro de español desde el 2005. I've been teaching Spanish since 2005. Soy el fundador de The Language School. Before I studied International Business Spanish and Marketing, I graduated in 2007. ¿Y tú? ¿A qué te dedicas? So what do you do for work, Arianne?
Soy ingeniería.
¿Qué tipo de edificios? Like ingeniera civil o
Ingeniera materiales.
de materiales? Ok. Muy bien. Interesante. Bueno, me gusta means I like. So when I'm not teaching, me gusta tocar la guitarra y los tambores. Me gusta viajar. Me gusta ir al gimnasio. Me gusta leer. Y me gusta ver películas. Something interesting, algo interesante. Yo bailaba con un grupo profesional de salsa. So I used to dance with a professional salsa group. And there's a picture of us performing at the Boulder Theater, probably back in 2008, something like that. So.
Oh no, that's so fun.
¿Y a ti qué te gusta? What do you like?
Me gusta escuchar la
So
música.
Here you want to say me gusta with an
Me
A.
gusta.
Me gusta.
Okay. me gusta escuchar la música y yo quiero aprendiendo español para,
Quiero aprender.
quiero aprender español porque mis amigas dice que they're funnier in Spanish. So just wanting to understand that and
Okay.
bridge that gap. Yeah.
You have some Spanish speaking friends that you hang out with?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
nice. Bueno, ¿por qué estudiar español? There's over 20 countries in the world that speak Spanish, and they're pretty fun countries to visit for the most part. More importantly, do you live in Denver now?
Yes.
Yeah, so it's increasingly becoming a requirement, even here in Denver. And that's just because over 30% of the population here speaks Spanish. So very commonly spoken here. If it's not a requirement, it can certainly help you for whatever you do. And it is the second most spoken language in the world. I like to use what I call a holistic approach to learning Spanish. What that means is I don't stick with one specific dialect. I kind of vary the way that I speak Spanish to give you exposure to some of the different dialects that are out there. So just like English, if you think about English, English is a little bit different here in the United States than it is in England, than it is in Australia or South Africa. It's English, but the accent changes, the vocabulary words might change a little bit. And that same thing happens between one Spanish country to the other. So just to give you that idea, I like to teach a little bit of it all. Last thing before we get started, Arianne, these are conversation classes, which means you have to talk. It's okay to make mistakes. You're going to make mistakes, and that's all part of the learning process. I need to know how to help you. So I'd much rather that you're trying to talk and making mistakes than just, being self-conscious and not saying anything. And I want you to feel comfortable. So ask me whatever questions you want to know as well. Okay. So to start off with our basic greetings, I think you already know this one. Hola, ¿cómo estás?
Estoy bien, gracias. ¿Y tú?
Estoy bien. So talking about greetings, the culture and the nonverbal communication can change a little bit in the Spanish-speaking world. In most countries, Spanish speakers will give each other a little kiss on the cheek, un besito, un besito. And that typically happens between family and friends when they see each other. Here in the United States, we're a very huggy culture. We always hug our friends and family, but in Spanish-speaking countries, it's going to be done more with a kiss on the cheek. It can change from one country to another, so that rule's not set in stone, but that's more than likely what you'll encounter. Now, in more formal situations, so business meetings or perhaps meeting somebody else for the first time, you'll tend to shake their hand. But it depends on exactly where you are in the circumstance. Let's do the pronunciation real quick. Repeat after me. A. E.
I.
O. U.
U.
A, E, I, O, U.
A, E, I, O, U.
Spanish is phonetic, which means those vowel sounds are essentially always going to be pronounced in those ways, which makes it actually quite easy to learn how to read the language and how to speak it. So, repite, nada.
Nada.
Mapa.
Mapa.
Papa.
Papa.
Meme.
Meme.
Leche.
Leche.
Tele.
Tele.
Mini.
Mini.
Bici.
Bici.
Fiji.
Fiji.
Loco.
Loco.
Coco.
Coco.
Ocho.
Ocho.
Muy bien. Cucú.
Cucú.
Vudú.
Voodoo.
Gurú.
Guru.
Muy bien. Bien. here we have our basic introductions. Now, you kind of made a little mistake on the evaluation when I asked you what your name was. So there's two ways to say it, and you kind of mix both of them together. So for the time being, we'll just stick to this one. That's a little bit more common. So to say my name is, you're going to say, hola, me llamo Arianne.
Hola, me llamo Arianne.
To say, what is your name? ¿Cómo te llamas?
¿Cómo te llamas?
And I would say, me llamo David. If you want to say it's nice to meet you in Spanish, you can say mucho gusto.
Okay.
Repite, mucho gusto.
Mucho gusto.
And to that, you can reply likewise, or in español, igualmente.
Igualmente. How do you spell it?
Igualmente? Oh, it's here for you.
Oh, okay, okay. So what's the difference between me llamo and mi nombre es?
Essentially, it's the same thing. The direct translation with me llamo is I call myself. And mi nombre es is more of a direct translation from the way we say it. My name is.
Okay, okay.
But both are 100% accurate and can be used in either in any situation. What I would just tell you is to be careful not to mix the two, right? You don't say me llamo es.
Okay, okay.
Which is what you said on the evaluation. Muy bien, vamos a practicar. Hola, me llamo David. ¿Cómo te llamas?
Me llamo Arianne.
Mucho gusto.
Igualmente.
Perfecto. So here we have three common questions when you're meeting somebody new. The first one is, where are you from? ¿De dónde eres?
¿De dónde eres?
And so you would say, soy de las Filipinas.
Yeah, soy de las Filipinas.
Muy bien. The next one is, where do you live? ¿Dónde vives?
Vivo en Colorado.
And the last one is, where do you work? ¿Dónde trabajas?
Trabajo en Lockheed Martin.
Okay, muy bien. So let's put it all together. ¿De dónde eres?
Soy de las Filipinas.
¿Dónde vives?
Vivo en Denver, Colorado.
¿Y dónde trabajas?
Trabajo en Lockheed Martin.
Perfecto. ¿Te gusta la comida cubana?
Sí, me gusta. Me gusta mucho.
¿Te gusta la comida mexicana?
Sí, me gusta.
¿Te gusta la comida salvadoreña?
¿Cómo se dice? I haven't tried it.
To make it just a little simple for lesson number 1, you could say, no sé.
No sé, okay.
No sé means I don't know.
Okay, no sé.
¿Te gusta la cerveza?
Sí, me gusta.
¿Te gusta el vino?
Sí, me gusta.
¿Te gusta el mojito?
No, no me gusta.
¿Te gusta el fútbol?
Sí, me gusta.
¿Te gusta el fútbol americano?
No, no me gusta.
¿Te gusta el béisbol?
No, no me gusta.
¿Te gusta estudiar?
Sí, me gusta.
¿Te gusta cocinar?
Sí, me gusta.
¿Te gusta bailar?
No, no me gusta.
¿Te gusta esquiar?
No sé.
Muy bien. So let's go over some useful questions for learning how to speak Spanish. Do you know what this means? ¿Puedo hacer una pregunta?
Can I ask you a question, or can I have, oh, okay.
Exactly. So repite, ¿puedo hacer una pregunta?
¿Puedo hacer una pregunta?
What about this one? ¿Cómo se dice student?
How do you say student?
Perfecto. Muy bien. Okay, so let's practice. Ask me the questions that you see here.
¿Puedo hacer una pregunta?
Sí.
¿Cómo se dice computer?
Computadora.
¿Cómo se dice office?
Oficina.
¿Cómo se dice paper?
Papel.
¿Cómo se dice employee?
Empleado.
¿Cómo se dice director?
Director.
¿Cómo se dice student?
Estudiante.
¿Cómo se dice conference room?
Salón de conferencia.
¿Cómo se dice classroom?
Salón de clase.
Mm,
Muy bien. This is one that you didn't get right on the evaluation. ¿Qué significa estudiante? So this one means, what does the word mean? Significa means mean.
Oh,
So, ¿cómo se dice, you ask? If you're speaking Spanish with somebody and you're just missing a word, right? You would ask me, ¿cómo se dice book? ¿Qué significa is when you hear something in Spanish that you don't understand.
okay.
So let's practice with this one. Ask me these questions now.
¿Qué significa computadora?
Computer,
¿Qué significa oficina?
office,
¿Qué significa papel?
paper,
¿Qué significa empleado?
employee,
¿Qué significa director?
director,
¿Qué significa estudiante?
student,
¿Qué significa salón de conferencia?
conference room,
¿Qué significa salón de clase?
classroom. Muy bien. So we've just looked at 3 important questions. What do these mean? ¿Puedo hacer una pregunta?
Can I ask a question?
¿Cómo se dice student?
How do I say student?
¿Qué significa estudiante?
What does estudiante mean?
Perfecto. Muy bien. Nice job. All right, let's talk about cognates. Cognates are words that are going to help you boost your confidence with Spanish, because if you speak English, you actually already know a lot of Spanish, whether or not you know it. So I like to tell the story of banks. The first bank, well, our modern understanding of what a banking system is, was born in Italy. And the word was banca. Because Italy is right next to Spain, they did a lot of commerce with the Spaniards. But the word banca changed over to banco. Same thing happened in France with banque, and then the same thing happened in England with bank, right? So the point is, if you're kind of cruising around Mexico and you see a big sign on a building that says Banco de Mexico, you're probably going to guess that it's a bank, naturally speaking. And the advice is to kind of go with that intuition, right? So here we've got some examples for you. Arianne, ¿qué significa actor?
Actor.
Chocolate.
Chocolate.
Director.
Director.
Final.
Final.
Hotel.
Hotel.
Mango.
Mango.
Normal.
Normal.
Pasta.
Pasta.
Simple.
Simple.
Right? So if we're on lesson number 1 of Spanish, you shouldn't know any Spanish, but you know these right away because they're literally the same words in English. The pronunciation might change a little bit. Some of the spelling might change a little bit, but they're pretty similar, right? And the reason is that Spanish was directly born from Latin and English was heavily influenced by Latin. So without having studied Spanish too intensively, you already know somewhere like 20 to 30% of it, at least on paper. So that's pretty cool. Okay, vamos con los números. Repite. 0.
0.
1.
1.
2.
2.
3.
3.
4.
4.
5.
5.
6.
6.
7.
7.
8.
8.
9.
9.
10.
10.
I'm going to read a phone number to you. Tell me de quién es. Whose number is it? ¿De quién es el número 911?
po police or emergency?
Emergency, right. ¿De quién es el número 720-634-2589?
The language school.
¿De quién es el número 303-218-6242?
Walmart.
¿De quién es el número 303-576-0065?
Domino's.
¿Cuál es tu número de teléfono?
352-328-5758.
So the number that you just gave me is 352-328-5758.
Sí, yes.
Perfecto. Apunta mi número.
Apúntame.
You have a pen and paper?
Mhm.
Okay, so I'm going to tell you my phone number. Apunta mi número. Mi número de teléfono es 720-257-8539.
Okay.
What'd you get?
720-257-8539.
Perfecto, muy bien. ¿Cuánto cuesta un papel?
Un centavo.
¿Cuánto cuesta un bolígrafo?
$1.
¿Cuánto cuesta un lápiz?
5 centavos.
¿Cuánto cuesta un marcador?
$2.
¿Cuánto cuesta un paquete de papel?
$5.
¿Cuánto cuesta un paquete de lápices?
$6.
¿Cuánto cuesta un paquete de bolígrafos?
$7.
¿Cuánto cuesta un paquete de marcadores?
$8.
¿Cuánto cuesta un libro de español?
$9.
¿Cuánto cuesta una pizarra?
$10.
Muy bien. You got it. Nice job. So, vamos a aprender español para la escuela y el trabajo para matar dos pájaros de un tiro. So, we're going to learn some Spanish now that most of my students can use both at work and at school so that we kill two birds with one stone. The first category is things. En español se dice cosas.
Cosas.
Computadora,
Computadora.
impresora,
Impresora.
televisión,
Televisión.
proyector,
Proyector.
marcador,
Marcador.
papel.
Papel.
The next category is places. En español se dice lugares.
Lugares.
Lugares. Muy bien. Repite. Salón de conferencia.
Salón de conferencia.
Salón de clase.
Salón de clase.
Oficina.
Oficina.
Escuela.
Escuela.
The last category is people. En español se dice personas.
Personas.
Muy bien. Profesora.
Profesora.
Estudiante.
Estudiante.
Director.
Director.
Empleada.
Empleada.
Muy bien. Vamos a practicar. Arianne, when it comes to learning a new language, as you probably know, since you speak, you speak Tagalog, right?
Yeah, I do. And Bisaya.
In what?
And Bisaya.
Visaya?
Yeah, those are two languages in the Philippines.
Oh, okay. Well, I didn't know that. I knew they spoke Tagalog. I didn't know they spoke any other languages. So cool.
Mm-hmm.
So when you moved here, did you have to learn English or did you grow up speaking English too?
I grew up speaking English too.
You did? Okay, okay. So then, I mean, when you grow up speaking languages, you don't really do this, but as an adult learning how to speak a new language, the biggest challenge you have is memorizing vocabulary. And so like, I do this little activity just to kind of teach my students how to study Spanish, right? I can only teach you Spanish, but you know, in order to learn how to speak Spanish, you have to like learn it, come to class, and then practice it outside of class. And to kind of help simplify that process for you, at least initially, I want you to focus on building your vocabulary. A lot of studies have shown that people become conversational once they have learned approximately 1,000 words in a new language. So if we work our way backwards, that essentially means 10 new words a day for 3 months. It's actually not that hard to do. So how do you memorize those words? That's the trick, right? We can learn from the way that people naturally learn their first language. And the first step that we're going to learn from that is that your first goal should not be speaking Spanish, but understanding Spanish. And naturally, you're always going to understand a little bit more Spanish than you can actually speak. So we're going to use this application called Quizlet right now. Have you ever used Quizlet before?
Yes.
You have? Yeah, cool. So I love Quizlet. I wish this was around when I was learning Spanish. Anyways, if we do this activity, what we want to do then, learning from the way that people learn their first language, is we want to flip it so we're going to answer in English. So what that means is we're looking at the word in Spanish, trying to say what it means in English. So we're developing our understanding on the first round. ¿Qué significa cosas?
Things.
Lápiz.
Pencil.
Libro.
Book.
Pizarra.
Ooh. No sé.
Pizarra is whiteboard.
Oh, whiteboard. Okay.
All right, cool. So if you don't get it, let's click the little star up here so that we'll review it again. Bolígrafo.
Pen.
Marcador.
Marker.
Papel.
Paper.
Computadora.
Computer.
Impresora.
Printer.
Televisión.
Television.
Proyector.
Projector.
Perfecto. So just one word to review. Pizarra.
Whiteboard.
Muy bien. All right, you got it. Now the second round is where you're going to start speaking Spanish. So now we're going to go from English into Spanish. ¿Cómo se dice things?
Cosas.
Pencil.
Lápiz.
Book.
Libro.
Whiteboard.
Pizarra.
Pen.
Bolígrafo.
Marker.
Marcador.
Paper.
Papel.
Computer.
Computadora.
Printer.
Empresa.
It's actually impresora.
Impresora.
Impresora. All right, so we'll star that one. Television.
Televisión.
Projector.
Proyector.
Muy bien. All right, so again, just one to review. ¿Cómo se dice printer?
Impresora.
Perfecto. Nice job. All right, so when you're studying vocab, start by going from Spanish to English, and then you go from English to Spanish. And it's just a proven methodology. It works a lot better than if you do it the other way around.
Okay.
So that will greatly accelerate your studies and your path to fluency. Muy bien. So this is the entire dialogue that we learned today to introduce yourself to a new person. Vamos a practicar. Hola, me llamo David. ¿Cómo te llamas?
Me llamo Arianne.
¿Cómo estás?
Estoy bien.
Mucho gusto.
Igualmente.
¿De dónde eres?
Soy de las Filipinas.
¿Dónde vives?
Vivo en Denver, Colorado.
¿Dónde trabajas?
Trabajo en Lockheed Martin.
¿Qué te gusta?
Me gusta comer.
¿Cuál es tu número de teléfono?
Es 352 35. Wait. 328-5758.
At the end of a conversation, we can say something like, let's stay in touch. In Spanish, we're going to say, estamos en contacto.
Estamos en contacto.
And to reply, you could say, sounds good, or in español, me parece bien.
Me parece bien.
Estamos en contacto.
Me parece bien.
Hasta luego.
Nos vemos.
Perfecto. Nice. All right. So we actually just finished the first lesson. How did that go for you?
It was good.
Yeah.
Yeah, much better than what I did in middle school.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I do conversational Spanish, which means we are just going to talk while we're together, right? So instead of trying to explain it, I like to just do it with new prospective students so that they can see what it's like before they sign up for classes. Does this seem like something that you want to pursue?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Cool. So the question is, what do we do going forward? What's your normal availability like?
Usually after 5:30 Mountain.
Really? Ooh.
Yeah.
Because
But go ahead. Sorry.
I typically do not work past 4.
Okay.
I have a small child, so I'm on daddy duty at night. I am going to be doing a new class with somebody starting next week from 4 to 5 on Thursdays.
4 to 5 on Thursdays.
Any chance you might be able to make that work?
Yeah, 4 to 5 p.m. Thursdays. Yep.
Yeah.
I'm also free every other Friday. So tomorrow Friday I'm off, and then every other Friday from that.
Okay. Well, I would say let's do the Thursday 4 to 5.
Yeah. Okay.
I typically don't work on Fridays either.
All right.
I kind of teach back to back Monday through Thursday, and I need the weekends to recover.
Understandable.
Okay, cool. So then this would be a small group class that we're going to do online with the other student. So for group classes, I suggest $25 to $50 per lesson, depending on what's in your budget. I have flexible prices just because everybody's kind of going through different stuff right now, and I don't want the price to be the reason why people can't study with me. But do you think you could swing $25 to $50 per lesson?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Perfecto. Good. Well, do you want to sign up for that class then?
Yep.
4 to 5 on Thursdays? Cool. All right. Do you want to make a payment for that then?
Yes.
All right. And what would you like to pay?
I will pay, let's do 30.
Cool. All right. I'm ready for a card number anytime.
Oh, give me a moment. I need to go get it.